Welcome to Stories from Palestine podcast. This is a weekly podcast coming to you directly from Palestine. My name is Crystal and I'm your host. And you can read more about the background of this podcast and hear all the previous episodes on storiesfrompalestine.info. And this episode is a milestone because it is the 10th episode. And it is also already my favorite episode since the start, because I'm taking you today on the fields to join for the annual olive harvest. This is my favorite time of the year, although this year is different from previous years because of the pandemic. If you enjoy this podcast, then please take a moment to sign up for the email list and consider a donation as a support so that I can continue creating new content. You can find all the links and the means to do that on the website storiesfrompalestine.info. And now, let's go to the field.
It's not much, actually.
الاسود مش الاسود اللون هذا اوكي اللي هيك لا so pretty.
Yeah, exactly. How do you know each other? Who, Crystal and I?
Yeah.
I don't know. How do we know each other? No, I know.
Oh yeah,
You
remember?
I remember. It was the first time when I came here and you were still working with Mohammed.
Oh God, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I met through an olive picking.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Years ago. I was working for an olive harvest or an olive tree program, a campaign. And in the harvest we used to bring groups. And you participated in one of these groups.
Yeah.
And then she came back again, and then I forgot already about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she was taking with me Zumba classes, and we used to hang out, you know, just when you see each other in Singer Cafe or in the Jisser in the bar. Every year in October, November, Palestinians harvest their olives. This is the season when the olives ripened and when they are ready to be picked. And then they are turned into olive oil, and the olive oil is used to eat and it's used to make olive soap. Since the year 2006, when I first came to Palestine, I have never missed an olive harvest. This year, however, is a very different year because usually we have lots of people coming from all over the world to help with the olive harvest, to have an experience as foreign people coming to Palestine, learning about the reality in Palestine, and helping the farmers with their harvest and having this really special experience. But because of the COVID pandemic, it has been impossible for people to travel and to come here to help us. So this year we are relying more on local people and local help. It's not always easy for people to get enough supporters from within the family. So I have offered one of my colleague students from the Bible College to bring some people to help him harvest his 15 olive trees. And we are here on his piece of land. It is one of the terraces going down the slopes from Beit Jala. Beit Jala is one of the highest points on this part of the mountain ridge between Bethlehem and Hebron. It is about 900 meters above sea level. And from the top of the mountain, sloping down, there are terraces made along the horizontal line of the hill, which is very important for irrigation and very important for stopping landslides. And here on this terrace, we have about 15 olive trees. So we are on the land of Daoud. And we're helping him with a group of people to harvest the olives today. And I was going to ask you, Daoud, do you live here on this land?
We actually live just like 10 minutes far away from here. This is my grandfather's land, and we are here doing the olive harvesting with the help of our friends.
Is that common that people here help their family members with the harvest?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Here the society depends more on the family issue, so we can find relatives who come to help.
How many trees do you have on this piece of land?
I have never counted. We can say about 40, maybe 45.
And I heard that there is usually 1 year is a good year and 1 year is a bad year for the olives. Can you say, is this a bad year or a good year?
Actually, this year is not that much good. The seeds are not many as always. But some of the trees that they are, let's say, close to humidity and water will have more seeds than the other.
And do you have to come a lot to attend to the trees? Are they a lot of work to keep olive trees?
Yeah, you will have to come to pick the seeds during October. Usually we do it. Then after that, we'll have to trim some of all the branches maybe, or the branches that they are dried already. We will have to also work the land.
And when is that when you work the land? Is that during the harvest season or is it in another time?
Working the land, we usually do it twice a year. That's the best for the land. Before the rain, we bowing the land in order to get more water inside it whenever it's rain, and also to keep it fertile more whenever you just upside down the land. Then after that, during spring, so we just do it again in order to get lost of the grass.
Oh yeah, because then the weeds start growing, and then you need to just make sure that they don't take all the nutrition from the soil. Hey, and do you know about, on average, how much oil do you get from these trees?
I have never counted that way actually, but usually it's depend on the percent of or outcome of the olive. So usually it's between 20 up to maybe like 26%.
So you're saying that 20 to 26% of the olive is oil, and the rest of it is the inside pit and the skin that you don't use. So okay, now we are picking the olives. They're falling on the tarps. We're collecting them in bags, and then what do you do with them after that?
So we take them to the olive press where they squeeze the seeds, and the oil comes out from the other side.
And what do you do with the oil? Do you sell the oil? Do you use it for own use? Is it for the whole family? Is it just for the people who picked the olives?
Yeah, usually it's for the same family, but it's somehow it's a big family here. So you have your uncles, your aunts, and everybody to take some. So we keep it for the family most of the amount. The rest, if we have some extra, we sell some jars.
Hey, and there are several delicious Palestinian dishes with olive oil. Can you mention one or two dishes that definitely need to be prepared with olive oil?
Yeah, sure. First, if we start at the appetizers, so we can use it with almost with any kind. Like salads and stuff like that, hummus, Arabic salad, baba ghanouj, whatever. And also, we can use it with like the main dishes, like the msakhan, for example. So yeah, we bring a bread. Usually, it's actually homemade. We do it on the stones, and beneath the stones, we put some fire, using some wood, even from the olive wood that we cut. We chop some onions, mix it with some oil and sumac, and also then we put. Sometimes people use chicken, sometimes use meat, but usually it's meat. And but before that, we dip the bread with olive oil.
That sounds delicious. Yeah. Wow. There is another product of the olive tree that is olive wood. Do you use the olive wood as well?
Yes, for sure. My father is actually one of the carvers. Yeah, Crystal is laughing right now. Yeah, so yeah, we use the wood also. My father is one of the carvers. He actually taught me also how to do the olive wood things. So I go there, help him during the winter, because it's a low season with my other job, which is videos, and I work as a photographer and videographer, mainly for weddings and occasions, but also some short documentaries. So during winter, I have a low season with my own job. I go there, help them.
So what is it that you do? What do you make with the olive wood?
So many things, but usually like the stuff that you see at the tourist shop, for example. We craft so many things like crosses, rosaries, some statues from olive wood, some jars, boxes, candlesticks, all of these stuff, and we sell them for the tourists who come to visit the Holy Land.
And right now, because of the corona pandemic, there are not really any tourists coming to the Holy Land. Does that mean that you don't have any sales, or do you also ship things abroad?
Yeah, now the situation is too calm actually, and there are no tourists, and we don't have that much of income. Sometimes we ship some stuff outside the country, but even with the pandemic, the corona pandemic, it's even not that much of shipping.
Can you say something in general about the importance of the olive tree for Palestinians?
The olive tree is like history for us, actually. Some people even think that the olive tree is like a symbolic for us, for the Palestinian issue and for the Palestinian people. How does the seeds grow on the tree? We feel that we are grow here in our land. And also, it's more like cultural thing. We believe that this is goes back to the Roman time, and even some people used to believe that it goes back to the Canaanite time. We use it for so many things in our daily life. That's why we depend on it a lot.
I can see that your son is walking around here. He's 3.5 years old. And is this the first year he comes out, or did you bring him also last year?
No, last year he was little bit, smaller, younger. So no, this is his first year coming out to the fields and playing around.
Yeah, he seems very happy, and I hope that he will continue later on this tradition, of olive harvesting and of this kind of family event. I'm very happy that we have the opportunity to be here with you on your land this year. We don't have a lot of foreigners coming in this year because of the pandemic and all the airports were closed, but there are still several foreigners who are living here. So I'm going to ask them how they feel about this experience today. Hi, what is your name?
My name is Eleonora.
Eleonora, where are you from?
I'm from Italy.
But you live here, right?
Yes, I've been living here for 4 years.
Oh, and what do you do?
I teach German, actually.
You're from Italy and you teach German. You're a woman of the world.
I hope so. I lived in quite a few places, and one of them was Germany. And this is how it came about.
And is this the first time you harvest olive, or you have done it before?
Yeah, I've done it before a few times over the years here in Palestine, actually.
And why did you come out today?
Because you invited me. And it's one of my favorite activities of the year. And so I was, why not?
Did you harvest olives when you grew up in Italy?
I actually didn't, but I come from the north, and I don't think we have a lot of olive trees there, so it's more further south.
Do you feel that you, growing up in Italy, that you have a certain attachment to olive oil?
Maybe. I mean, I noticed that when I moved out of Italy, and like food and good food is important to me. Probably yes, so yeah.
Because I think that here in the Palestinian food, they use olive oil in everything. Is that the same? I mean, is that in all? I'm just wondering about Mediterranean countries, and you coming from Italy. Did you feel that, it's actually just such a normal part of our daily intake?
Yeah, absolutely. Like in Italy, you would have olive oil all the time. It's something that is never missing from the kitchen. So yeah, it's pretty similar to here, I think.
Yeah, I just talked to Daoud, and he told me that they actually call many of their old trees Roman trees, because he said that it's the time 2,000 years ago when they really started with an olive tree cultivation. So there is definitely that connection. Is that also, when you look at the landscape in Palestine, that it's very similar?
Yes, it is very similar. Maybe not so similar to where I come from, but definitely to Tuscany and the south of Italy. It feels like almost the same, pretty much. Yeah.
So you can always feel at home here.
I can sometimes, Yani.
But I think you can feel at home anywhere in the world.
Or not, anywhere or nowhere, comes with each other, yeah.
Thank you, Eleonora. There's a woman here trying to climb a tree. Oh, you look like monkeys. But you are so fit. I know you because you are a dancer and I can see that you have no problem getting into the tree. This is your first time, right, Naomi?
My first time olive picking, but definitely not my first time in a tree.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that you have experience. How does it feel for you to have this experience today on the land of Daoud?
I feel like as a foreigner in Palestine, it's a privilege to be here. And so I think being of service or being useful to people in a practical way is something that more foreigners should focus on. And I think this is a great way to do that, to be practically useful.
I love it. I love this quote. Thank you, Naomi.
I don't need that other.
يزيتون
ياسين انا بديش
ويش بدك؟ انت بتزمش، انت لازم اللي بده سلم انت بتساعده اصلا.
عامل كثير بقى.
هاي أول مرة.
جد؟ Chris, how many times you've done this before?
I've been for 12 years doing the olive harvest every year.
Okay.
And at least 5 times a year. So this is maybe 60. Yeah. The way to do the olives is to milk the tree when you are.
Like this? Like you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You take the branch.
And you milk it?
You go from the up to down.
Okay.
And you just drop it on the tarp. And later you collect them in the bucket.
Okay. I'll do so.
Waffa, how do you feel today?
Wonderful.
How many times in your life did you already pick olives?
From I was young.
Every year do you pick olives?
Yes, as you see there, this is my grandma's house. Every year we gather like family and we start picking olives.
What do you enjoy about olive harvest?
At this time, all Palestinians families go to their lands to pick up olives to supply themselves for the winter, and the olives harvest may also be their source of income.
How many olive trees does your family have? Do you know?
Yes, like 7 or 8.
And how much time does it take if you are with a group of people? Like today, we are 8 people.
Because we have small trees and big trees, so it's one day and we finished. Because we are like 8 peoples here, so it took one day and a half.
What is the thing that you enjoy most about a day like this?
Enjoying nature, as you see green and see your kids it's walking around and you learn them to picking olives. It's a wonderful day, and the weather, it's beautiful too.
Thank you, Waffa. I'm going to ask somebody else who is high up in one of the ladders. Hi, I can barely see you now. You're high up. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Crystal.
Can you tell me how is it to stand up in a ladder and to be picking olives from the top?
Wonderful feeling high up here. No, it's really amazing. I'm enjoying every olive that I'm picking.
Georgette, how many times in your life did you already pick olives?
To be honest, not that much because we didn't have like land. But because of this, when you invited me to help, I was so happy. In Italy, I picked olive trees.
Yeah, because you used to live in Italy. What did you used to do there?
I studied there, university. I graduated from Science and Technology of Food.
Oh, so did you also study something about olives and olive oil?
Yes, yes, the production of olive oil, yes.
And can you tell us what is the health benefits of olive oil?
Everything, antioxidant, there's antioxidants, I think, inside it, all the essential vitamins inside it, for everything. It makes you live long.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's why I hear Palestinians sometimes they drink a cup of olive oil every day. Yeah. Hey, and when you were in Italy, I bet you saw that they also have a lot of olive trees there. Did you ever join a harvest there? And how do you see that Italians relate to the olive tree if you compare it, for example, to Palestinians?
It's so important also in Italy, and the production of oil is so important in Palermo, all of these areas, and it's really good. But it's a different story when we are talking about Palestine, because olive tree in Palestine is it's not just any tree. Okay, it's not just any tree. If an olive tree could speak up, it would be the not best, but greatest witness of Palestinian people and Palestinian history. So it's we are talking about like a holy tree, a family tree, and she is a she. I call an holy tree. She's a lady. She's a she, like a mother who gathers all the family around her. Because if I learn something from olive tree, it gathers all the family. The first thing, and it's present always in the land. La presenza. The presence is. Of all of the obstacles, all the problems that we had, she's still there. She every year blossom and give you, like, she's so generous to give you like the olives, حتى also the leño, como se dice, el wood. You can use everything. So it's wonderful. It's a big teacher, a big witness for our existence in Palestine.
I've always seen it like this. The olive tree is rooted in the land, just as the Palestinians are rooted in the land. There's a bunch of girls sitting under the olive tree, and what are you doing here under the olive tree?
We are picking the olives that they throw to us on the ground, sorting them to the bucket.
You're sorting them to the bucket so as they don't have a lot of leaves in between. Is this the first time you're picking olives?
Yes, it's my first time, and I'm enjoying a lot. Really, it's so good to get outside from the house to the nature place to feel the connection with the nature.
مرصب كلها خلينا هي كلياتها يباس جواها حالتها حالي هاي يباس جواها مشكلة.
The father of Daoud is cutting the branches of the tree here. He's pruning the tree, taking out the dead parts of the tree and making some light in between all the leaves and the branches, because otherwise the tree will not give as many fruits next year. I just heard the father of Daoud saying something, a saying in Arabic.
الزيتون بده مجنون.
So basically you were telling him like, oh no, you're cutting too many branches, and he was like, no, that needs.
It needs a madman to do the work, because a crazy man, yes, crazy, yes. Yes. crazy أحسن crazy mad مش منيح يلا.
لأنه لا dry أيوة, there is a part dry part, so we cut it because there is no seeds on it, so we have to clean it.
Yalla, you're doing a good job. Yeah. We have finished 3 trees so far, and we're setting up the tarps under the 4th tree. And then they're going to bring in some lunch, because usually when Palestinians do olive harvest, they don't eat some sandwiches, but some family members, they come and they bring home-cooked food. So we're waiting for that, and then we're going to have a break, and then we will continue, because I can see there are still at least 4 or 5 big trees on this part of the land, and I think the biggest tree is still to come.
لا خليه مفتوح.
هلا أي شجرة؟ وين أي شجرة؟
تفضلي.
Thank you.
Yogurt?
No.
No? Salad? Salad. There is no meat. Jadra is vegetarian. It's full of lentils. Oh, do you want mine? I wanted to hold mine.
Thank you.
هلا ضليتي انتي؟
لا اختي سيرينا مهاجرة على البرتغال، لساتها مش متجوزة يعني، ضليت انا في الدار. بتدرس. ايه؟ لا وحدة تجوزت لابن النجار.
ولا شفت
جدرة مع بيرة؟
هي جدك البيرة تبعت شو اسمه؟
وين داود؟
Yeah, you were looking the bait somewhere. Very nice. Yeah, we just arrived at the olive press. It's quite an impressive place. Here at the beginning is where the people weigh the olives, and then they throw the olives in a big a machine where it gets separated from the leaves. The olives get washed, and then the olives get pressed. And on the end side of the system, there is the olive oil coming out from the tanks. Very pure and green and fresh olive oil. Hey Louisa, how do you say olive in Arabic?
زيتون.
And how do you say olive tree in Arabic?
شجرة زيتون.
And how do you say I am picking olives in Arabic?
أنا بلقط زيتون.
هذه زيتون.
زيتون.
شجرة زيتون.
شجرة زيتون.
أنا بلقط زيتون.
أنا بلقط زيتون.
شكرا هادي، شكرا لويزا. If you want to see photos of this olive harvest day and of the olive press, then go to the website storiesfrompalestine.info and scroll down to the photo gallery. And I'm excited to tell you that next week's episode, we will dive deeper into the history and heritage of the olive tree in Palestine, because there's really a lot more to talk about. Don't hesitate to send me your feedback, reviews, and messages on social media or by email, because I really appreciate it to know who is listening. And I hope you will tune in again next week. مع السلامة.